Hey everyone, and welcome back into the shop. Gonna give you a quick rundown of what I'm doing today. Again, the in-laws have the kids, so I got a little free time, so I'm gonna be messing out here in the garage. I'll show you what I'm up to. Here are the frames that I've been working on, and I still need to get those done. We're gonna be doing some work on them, but this is what we need to handle today. This is completely out of control. It's taken over the shop, having all of this lumber just stacked against the wall here. So I am going to build some shelves or a rack or something to put those up here on the wall and make some better use of this space. So in between house projects and work and just life in general, this has just gotten out of hand and out of control. So what I'm going to do, I got some channel strut, super strut, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to make some brackets for this, and I'm going to mount a couple links of this up on the wall. That way I can still keep adjustability and I can change things up if I need to, but it's going to be plenty strong, and it should be a good way to hold all this lumber just while I'm getting the shop set up and situated and everything, if that ever happens. I mean, getting a shop situated turns into being a lifelong project. So we'll see what we can get done today. Getting these put up, I've got a couple different ideas, no plans, but we're going to cut some lumber and see how it goes. Okay, so I got some pieces cut, and the plan is this piece is going to sit against the wall here. These longer pieces are going to be rabbited into the shelf backer piece. Then I'm going to have another piece that comes out here at a 45-degree angle, and bolts are going to come in here and down here and should be able to hold it to the strut channel. So I'm going to figure out this angle here, figure out those lengths, get those 45s cut, and then come back and cut the rabbet here for these horizontal pieces to sit in. So here you can see the upside down mock-up of how this is all going to go when everything goes to plan. Next step is to set up and cut the rabbets for this, where the horizontal piece meets the vertical piece. So I'll get out the crosscut sled and get that going. And there we go, the rabbet's cut. Now I've got the angle pieces, they're just going to sit on there like that, and we are looking good right now. Before I start gluing these up, I'm going to drill the holes that go here and here, because it's going to be a lot easier to drill those out before everything gets glued up here. Okay, the time has come for glue and screws. To try to make sure all this stays as square as possible, I've got two boards set up here that I can work against and square things up real quick. So we'll see how this goes. All right, we have them all glued up. Next step, get all of this junk out of the way, get that off the wall, and get some channel strut up there. And we can get these suckers hung up. All right, I got the channel struts up. Strut channel, channel strut, super strut, whatever it's called. I put them in 5-foot lengths, spaced them out a couple different ways for the different lengths, but here is the premise of how they go together. And these are 1/4 bolts that go in, and there's nuts that slide up and down in the channel strut channel, and that's what they bolt to. I wanted to go over a little bit of the design of this structure here. So the reason for the rabbet here, instead of just butting that up, is that when weight's on top of these, this horizontal piece is going to want to rotate away from the wall and come down. By having that rabbet there, it's not able to do that because the wood here locks it in. And in addition to that, having the bolt at the top reinforces that wood and keeps it from splitting out. So when I'm using this cruddy wood that I picked out of the dumpster, it actually reinforces it and it makes it very strong that way. Same with having the bolt down here. This screw is holding this 45 piece in, and that's wanting to slide down, and it's putting a lot of pressure on that wood going down. So by having the bolt here, it transfers this load straight down on top of that bolt. And I bet there's going to be some people wondering about 1/4 bolts and using them for shelves. But if you look at the specs on these things, one of these nuts with a 1/4 bolt has a sliding strength of 300 pounds and a pull-out strength of 300 pounds, or of 600 pounds. So that's just one. So these things should be plenty strong for anything I'm going to put on them. So I'm going to get the rest of these put up, get the wood stacked up as best I can and cleaned up, and we'll show you what that looks like. So if you haven't seen one of these before, here's how these work, and here's the one I picked. These have this plastic retainer on them, and there's channels here that fit inside the lips of the strut channel and give it bite. And they're made with this curve in here so that you can put them in, turn them, and lock them in. So for hanging these things, I just put it in there, twist it, and that is locked in it. It's not going to fall out, but it'll slide. Then all I've got to do is take my bracket, put a bolt through it, thread in the top one, slide it up a little bit to line up with the bottom one. Helps if it's actually slid in. Thread that in a couple turns. Once you tighten those down, Doesn't even have to be that tight. You're locked in. And all you have to do to adjust them, back that off a little bit, and they can slide up and down in the channel like that. So I'll get the rest of these hung up and we'll show you what that looks like. Okay, I got the clamps and the level back up. There's most of that wood up off the floor. There's still a little bit of stuff down here, but man, cleared up so much more space. You can see I'm a long way away from getting this thing all set up, but bits and pieces like this are going to help out a ton. Should have made 2 more brackets. I can always do that. That way I can get some of this stuff up there, but just running out of time for today. But I am extremely happy with how that turned out. Very happy that I can move those shelves up and down if I need to. Can even put stuff underneath there. Just a whole lot better and more storage than throwing things on the ground down there. And I can actually wheel my miter saw out of the way, get some space on the floor here. Man, things are coming together. I love how easily that was to put together. And it was cheap too, because all the wood I used was old pallet wood. Those are old 2x4s off of pallets, and I'd cut those down, and those were the offcuts from other things. That's part of why I keep all this wood. I am a wood hoarder. I hate to throw stuff away because I always seem to find a use for the smaller stuff, even these kind of things. I use a lot of these offcuts to make tool holders for stuff. And this is what I'm in the process of doing throughout the shop, is just getting tool holders built, getting things kind of put away. So anyway, I'm real excited about this, and if you followed along the whole time, thanks for watching, and let me know if you have any questions. And happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you next time.